Hello, be very welcome to As Above So Below again. Today I'm, recording the second video because I felt inspired after two really horrible events that happened in less than 24 hours, one in Portugal and the other in United States. And I was, already ready to record this, but I felt on the verge of sharing this all at once. So, and this was asked by several people in Portugal for me to record this. So here I am talking about something that most astrologers sometimes don't give a lot of attention, because it is what it is, and it's a little bit twisted sometimes to talk about the Anaretic degrees. So what are the Anaretic degrees? The Anaretic degrees, and first and foremost, Anaretic means destruction. It's like a death of a star. It means destruction in Greek, Anaretic. And it is the last degree. There are some astrologers that they have the opinion that Anarectic degrees are between the 28th degree and the 30th, because each sun sign, each zodiac sign, each house has 30 degrees. There are 12 houses in the astrological spectrum, and so for me it's not the 28th. Even if in numerology 2 plus 8 is 10 and 1 plus 0 is 1, for me it is the 29th, for all the things that I believe. The 11th, 11, the number 11 being a master number, it is quite symbolic. That is the height, or is the highest point that you can achieve in a particular position in the planet, in a specific planet. So this marks the last degree, and for you to have this in one planet, it means that your planet is feeling kind of old. It's like it's almost resting, almost dying, and when we feel tired and old, we are afraid of dying. We are afraid of losing our capacity. We become quite reckless sometimes as kids. It's funny to think that way. We become a little bit reckless when we get older, and it's just like, well, we're going to speed it up this, and we're going to just carpe diem and enjoy our lives. We get impatient. So that's the same thing when we have an old planet, or we are at the 29th degree. It means that it is the end of the term of this particular aspect. Okay, by opposition, we have when we have between 0 degrees or 15 degrees, because the 15th degree is the health, marks the peak point of that specific house, planet, whatever. It means that you are at your prime, that you're going to get rewards. You're the go-to person to get something done regarding that house, or and that position in that sign on that planet. So when we have the 29th degree, it means, for me, it means karma. It means that you're tired of doing something because you had this several lifetimes before doing the exact same thing, or you have to learn by this really debilitated position of this planet that you're in. Okay, for instance, I've been researching a lot because I have this Mars in Aries, and it's the same that several people, and I'm always researching for biographies since I was a kid, and now I'm researching for biographies and astral charts, and trying to research and dig into someone's personality and the way they reacted to certain themes they have in common with me, so I can learn better and just try to make sense, try to make sense of other dimensions and other ways to react to the same particular themes in my own life, because we all have, in this amazing and really complex matrix, we have so many things that, that we can learn from the existence and experience of others. So since I was a kid, I always read biographies, and now I'm just, researching since I was 20 years old into astral charts and comparing astral charts and doing composites and doing synastries, and it's so insightful, and it's a really intense work. Okay, so the key to this is, if from 0 to 15 degrees, it's the beginning, it's the prime, it's the peaking point. It's, for me, from 0 to 15 degrees is almost like, channeling into your north node, while the, from 15 until 29 degrees is channeling into your south node. That's the things that you did, in a past life, in past several lives, so it's not a positive energy, isn't a kind of, as Vedic astrology mentions, is a kind of malefic energy. And we have to be really, it's not educated about that energy, but we have to do serious shadow work. For instance, if you have, just like me, Mars in Aries, that's quite aggressive in the 29th house, you just have to forgive yourself for being too aggressive, to have, an old pattern of, aggressiveness in your life, like, reacting perhaps to your south node. Okay, and it makes a lot of sense to me because my south node is completely and uniquely connected to Venus energy in opposition to Mars. Okay, so I have to do this kind of shadow work, not, and the thing here is not to destroy these energies, to transform it, because once you learn to transform this energy into something positive, you get to get, karmic rewards from this planet. Okay, so you have to master it. The Anaretic, if you have lots of this, you have to master these energies. If not, they're going to build up against you. Okay, that's it. So you have to rectify this karma. Denying it is just awful. Denying your wrongs, your deeds, denying the things that you did in the past are just not worthy. And this is completely connected to Saturn return. So until you are 27, 30 years old, everything just happens to you, not through you. Okay, so you don't acknowledge as you being responsible for the things that you did wrong, only the things that you did right. Okay, we've been there in our 20s, was like, a cosmic second ago. So this is the era of life. When you have a problem, you have to fix it, you have to transform this energy, you have to solve it. And so you have this shadow work to do. You have to transition, you have to look into Saturn as well. If you have if you have one of these planets, and if you have one of these planets connected to Saturn, you have to look into it as well. If you have Saturn, for instance, in 29 degrees, you are really, or Pluto in 29 degrees, you really, you are really settled in your ways. You're really afraid to change. And it's, and you have to look, actually, you have to look into the house where this energy is filtered. Okay, so this begs for forgiveness, this begs for solution. We have to be aware of, if you do solar return charts or you do progressive, charts, and you are really into, being aware of transits with outer planets. It means like from Saturn to Pluto, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto itself, sorry. You have like really important shifts. I'm going to give my example because it's the best I know. I have several other examples of, celebrities and people that are, my friends and clients, but I have, for instance, I have Mars and the North Node in Aries in the 11th house. In July, the North Node is going to be in Aries, making a conjunction with my North Node. So, and, with my Mars. So this is the turning point of something, and the way that I acknowledge other people's opinions, the way that I carry myself into the world, the way that I connect with others. Networking, the 11th house is all about networking, is all about humanity as well, is all about, making this transition. It's not the South Node in Libra that is, highly dependent on other people's opinions, but it's also not being aggressive towards the opinions of others, because the 11th house begs us to look into humanity, not our ego, or to try to filter it the best we can to be at the service of others. So this is my particular aspect. I don't have any other planet in Anaretic degree, but this speaks volumes to me because it's in 11th house, is a 29th degree, 2 plus 9 is 11. I have also a Chiron conjunct my ascendant at 11 at 0 degrees, almost 0 degrees, and it's not 0 degrees, is 1 degree, but my North Node is in the 12th degree. So for me is really amazing how this energy, as I make amends and I forgive myself for things that I really did in a very aggressive and really violent way in my past, that I can use this energy to help other people and to just speak the things that I know they are going to be perhaps useful to others. So that's it. So this is the functioning of the Anaretic degrees. I hope this was useful to you guys. The only thing I have to tell you is, it is completely different impact on the several planets. If you have an Anaretic degree in the sun, it means that your ego is completely used up and you're denying, or perhaps repressing some parts of yourself that you don't want to acknowledge. If you have in the moon, perhaps you have this, you are denying. Once again, you're denying. You have like this emotional trauma, that really difficult thing to process, a really huge trauma, perhaps connected to your mother or to your family, and you have to forgive that and manage to resolve the karma, not only for yourself but for your entire family. If you have in Mercury, there are things you're repressing and censoring yourself. You don't want to say, you cannot speak out loud about them, you cannot write about them. If you are in Venus, it's the same with partnerships. You're attracting karmic people, they're toxic in your life. If it is Mars, it's all about sex and aggressiveness, and acknowledging that in your life. And if it's Jupiter, you're completely, you are repressing education, you're attracting a lot of education but not getting any satisfaction from it. And you have the other and generational planets, that it's Pluto and Saturn and Uranus and Neptune, and it's all about the themes that they are connected to those planets in specific. But once you you pass yourself, and you accept the things that you want to repress connected to those planets, and you have to look into the sign and the house of that specific planet. You have to learn, and this is the difficult process. And the dog is not stopping, it's barking. Is it okay? And continues. Even if you feel tired, even if you feel that it's not worth it, that you are not understood by other people, that is something that you are feeling restless about, because you're going to feel, even it starts to feel a little bit restless and heavy when you pass the point of your 30 years old, and if it's not resolved, if it's not acknowledged, when you get to 60, it's going to get heavier. And when you are 90, it's just like, okay, fuck it. There's no, it's not going to, it's not going to have a resolution, perhaps in the next life. Okay, so that's it. You have really look into and be able to forgive and find a solution to this explosion. That's it. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and this is it. Over and out.